We're going to go bottom to top, I think, first. We'll go bottom to top first. Bottom of the league will be Leeds United. I think they haven't really done anything in this window at the minute. At least not what I've seen anyway. 19th will be Burnley again. Kyle Walker is a pretty good signing. I know he's not who he used to be, but it's a pretty good signing for Burnley. And I don't know, Burnley were the best team in the Championship last season. However, somehow Sunderland, I reckon, will finish 18th, despite the fact that they finished 20 odd points below the top two last season in the Championship to get promoted. However, their business this window has been phenomenal. They signed Granit Xhaka. That's a great signing. 17th. I'm between two teams here. I'm between Brentford and Wolves. I think Brentford and Wolves are going to struggle this season. Brentford have lost their best player. They could lose their second best player. And Damsgaard can't do everything. They've lost their manager and hired a set-piece coach, I think, as their new manager. Maybe they'll score some corners, but I reckon it'll be that way round. Just because I think Wolves have a better manager. And I know they've lost Cunha, who was incredible, obviously. But still got Strand Larsen, still got Gomez, still got their back line. Still got a good manager. 16th. West Ham. There's only so much Bowen can do. And I don't think Graham Potter's like a phenomenal manager, to be honest. Yeah. They struggled last season. I think they'll struggle again this season. If Fulcrum can hit the ground running, though, I reckon they'll do better than. I just think the reason they'll put West Ham here isn't because they're bad. It's because I think that the other 15 odd teams are just gonna do better. It's as simple as that. 17, 16, right, 14th, Fulham. I haven't seen them do much this window, Fulham. 13th, Forest. I think Europa League football's going to hurt them. Fair play keeping Morgan Gibbs-White. But I don't think their squad is deep enough to play European football. Equally with the same logic, I'm putting Palace 12th. They have a weaker competition, but they still have a thin squad. They've kept Eze and Gahey for now, but they could leave. 11th, Bournemouth. Bournemouth have lost like more or less their entire defence. They've lost 3 of their back 4 and the goalkeeper. Truffert, I've not seen much from him, but apparently he's a good player, replacing Kirkes. They've just signed Diakite. Is it Diakite? I don't know. I might be completely wrong with that, but they signed a centre back today. And they've got Senesi back from injury, so they might be all right, but we'll see. Have they signed a keeper yet? It's Kelleher that's gone to Brentford, isn't it? 10th, Everton. Good squad. Graham Potter's good. Just signed Jack Grealish today. Njai's really good. I feel like they need a better striker. I've not seen much of that Barry guy, or Tieno Barry. Not seen much of him, but he might be alright. 9th. Ben's gonna kill me. Ben's not in here, I hope. Aston Villa. They haven't improved their squad at all. They haven't signed a single player. I think they've signed one player, and he's not exactly a starter. It's that attacker. And I just think the other teams are bound to have a good season. So I think this is the season that Villa have a bit of a drop-off. But then I think the following season they'll spend loads of money and recover. 8th, Spurs. Thomas Frank's a good manager. They've made some decent signings. Kudus. They could buy Savino. Chelsea Oh, just you wait till I get to Chelsea. Yeah, I think Thomas Frank's a great manager, and I think it's going to be a massive improvement under him. Seventh, getting Conference League football. Man United, quality signings, I reckon. Cunha and Buemo, Sesko. Still question marks on the manager. Still, I'm going to be playing Ahmed Diallo at right wing, but he did it right wing back, but he did it a bit last season. Dorgu looks alright. I am still questionable about the centre backs though. Maguire's good. Martinez, I think, is incredibly overrated. And De Ligt, I also think, is incredibly overrated. Lenny Yoro looks pretty good, but I think Man United needed at least one centre back at the club that needed to sign. So yeah, I think there may be a centre back away from breaking into the top six. Sixth, Newcastle. I think their transfer business has been probably the worst in the entire league. Not by any fault of their own, just because players don't want to sign for them for some reason. They have been rejected by every player in the world at this rate. And their only signing, really, has been Anthony Elanga, which is an alright signing, but I think it was incredibly overpriced. And Aaron Ramsdale, who is a relegation specialist. Fifth, this is going to raise some eyebrows. I think Brighton are having a good season this year, and I think they're going to crack into Europe. They narrowly missed out on Europe last year just because Palace won the FA Cup. But I think this is the year that Brighton have a good year. I think they have lost Pedro, but they got a lot of money. Rutter, I think he might have a breakthrough season this season. They've got good players, Brighton, and they've got a good manager as well. And I think they'll do well. I think that De Cowper, he looks really good. Like, his underlying numbers. I've seen some of the stats. He contributes to a goal from left back every couple of games. They're going to lose Baleba. I don't think that transfer will go through. If it does, they'll get like over 100 million for him, and Brighton are a smart enough club to reinvest that money really well. They'll just regenerate another random Colombian for 5 million and turn him into another. Like, Baleba was literally a Caicedo regen. And then Caicedo was a Basuma regen. And it just, like, they somehow keep getting better and making more and more money just from picking up random players out of nowhere. So, like, Brighton will just be fine if they lose him anyway. Fourth, Arsenal. I'm not seeing it from them. They've signed Gyökeres. Everyone's really hyped about Gyökeres, but I don't know. He scored a lot of penalties, and he was playing in the Portuguese league, and I don't think the level of the Portuguese league is a high enough standard to expect him to come and score 20 goals in the Prem. I might be wrong, but, like, yeah, I'm not. I just think Arteta's not a good manager. I really don't rate Arteta as a manager at all, and I think I think he's holding Arsenal back a bit because they have a really good squad. Zubimendi's a good signing though. And Norgard. I mean, like, he's a good player, but I don't think he's Arsenal level. He probably won't start, but it's good depth. But I just think these three teams are a bit stronger. Everyone's sleeping on City. I'm putting Liverpool third. They have spent a shed loads of money, but I think it's going to come back to bite them in the arse a bit because they're going to have so many new players that it's kind of just shifted away from their core squad a little bit. And I think it's going to take time. It's going to take time. And also, their defence in pre-season has looked really shaky. Like, Palace gave him a good game in the Community Shield on Sunday, and then won the game eventually. And their defence has been shaky in pre-season. I think Van Dijk, as good of a defender Konate is, I think he's too unreliable injury-wise and just consistency-wise that they probably should have signed another world-class centre-back. Because Van Dijk's going to leave eventually. So they probably should have signed Gahey, basically, but it's not happened. Second, Man City. And first, Chelsea. I've been on the Chelsea train since the season ended, basically. I think I saw really good signs from Chelsea last season. And they were just a few poor results away. They were in a title race for a good portion of last season, and it kind of dropped off towards the end. But I think they've made some good signings. I think João Pedro is a pretty decent signing. Liam Delap's a pretty decent signing. They've got good striker depth, which has been a problem for them with only having Nicholas Jackson in the past. I still think they need to sign a goalkeeper, but they might get Donnarumma. I think if I'm Donnarumma, I'd rather go to Chelsea than United. Their centre back Gerald Hatto has just signed. I think is a quality centre back. Is obviously Colwell's done his ACL, which is a big problem, but perfect timing for Gerald Hatto, also a left-footed centre back, slot straight in. As for Man City, because City had a bad year last season, everyone's kind of written them off. All the predictions I've seen, they're putting City third, and it's like Arsenal aren't better than City. I know they had a better season last season. City had an off season because of Rodri, but Pep's kind of thought, you know what, it's time to sort of start shifting on the squad that we had before. Like Grealish has gone, Walker's gone, and now they're trying to improve a little bit now. Where I've seen today that they're looking at Rodrigo, which would be mental. Obviously Marmoush is going to have his first full season, and Marmoush was a big reason why they kicked on in the second half of last season. Reinders looks like a really good player as well. And then Ait-Nouri, I think, will be a good left back as well. So yeah, that's me predictions. I reckon I won't be too far off. I think my ambitious ones obviously are Brighton finishing 5th and Chelsea finishing top. But other than that, I don't think it's too bad. I don't think it's too bad at all. But we'll see at the end of the season, because you're never going to get all 20 right. But I think that's pretty safe. I reckon that's all right. I think United especially. I've tried to do these like predictions like every so often through pre-season, and I think United started at like 14th, and they've just gradually got higher just because their business has been pretty good. But I still don't think they cracked the top 6. If Brighton don't have as good of a season as I think they do, then I think United will finish 6th and Newcastle will finish 5th. But at the minute, 7th.